It's gonna be a bad show, guys. So just
All right. Well, you heard it here first.
It's gonna be a bad show.
Way to curse up.
Breaking news.
Speaking of cursed things, Luke Phillips on the line.
Hey.
That's a segue.
That is a segue. I'm getting pretty good at these.
Set myself up for that segue. I'm great.
Well, it's great that you're
Glad
here.
to be here.
Thanks for joining us. Aaron Kring, you're here too. What's up, buddy?
I don't know what you did today, Tyler, but your hair is looking spectacular. You're having a great hair day today.
That's called waking up late.
And not
So
giving a
a
shit.
normal day.
Yeah. It just looks fantastic, always. Thank you. You know, that means a lot coming from you, Kring. You're a man of good taste, and I respect your opinion greatly.
I feel like you don't.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You could. You could.
You guys up to anything cool this week? Did you do anything? We did a whole week. It's been 7 days since last we were here. 6, something like that. Anything cool happen to you?
Ish.
I had some Thai food that's haunting the shit out of me right now. And
Yeah.
I mean that in every way.
Literally.
Thai Friday is not treating you right, is it?
No. They
You did-
cooked it
you
up
did
something
chase it with-
fierce.
What I assume is a big old greasy pizza.
Yeah, I'm not paying myself any what's what I'm looking for.
Just pooping and crying.
If I have to flood away suddenly, then you know what's up.
Let's just say that Tyler's playing a lot of his Switch.
I'd
man.
just like to take this moment to point out that I was not the one who brought up pooping.
Uh-huh.
So-
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't gonna take.
Normally, this is my.
I got you this week.
Mine.
I got
thank
you.
you.
Arena. Thank you, Brian.
It's gonna be your hill to die on, Kring. Don't worry, we know.
Poop. Yeah, I know. It's always gonna be poop.
You know, a big thing that I saw going around this week was the It trailer, Stephen King's It, and I don't care at all about that. Is that doing anything for any of you guys?
Nope.
No.
Speaking
I read
of
the
poop,
book. I watched it when I was a kid. The what was it, miniseries, I think.
I don't know at all because I stayed way the fuck away from Scary Clowns. That's not my
Scary
That's not
Clown?
my jam.
But they're remaking it because they remake everything, and it sucks.
Do you have a particular, like hatred towards remakes, Brian? Is there a
I
thing?
do.
Yeah.
I do. I'm tired of them. From a business perspective, I absolutely understand them. It's a big investment of money, and when you do a reboot or a sequel or something, you've already got a built-in audience for it.
Yeah.
They make money. I get that. It just, as someone who used to care about movies in general, it kind of sucks that that's an awfully big percentage of what we see these days are based on, an existing work or a reboot, or
Sure.
it's dull.
could
Always.
could
Do the right remake come along and change your mind? Beauty and the Beast was rad. I saw that.
They
with
can
my
be
daughter.
they can be good movies, but I don't like the overall trend at all.
I have a feeling Brian's also gonna. It can be a good movie, but it's the whole. And we've talked about this before. The second foray into the world never feels quite as good as the first.
Yep.
Okay. Oops. Shit. Lost Skype. There it is. It's back. No, it's fine.
Did you find it?
Does this? Yeah, I found it. I found Skype. Everyone, calm down. Call off the search. We're good. Does this extend into games for you too? Like when you find out they're gonna reimagine a game or reboot a game, does that rub you the wrong way too? Usually.
Not really. I mean, I don't know. It's the same thing again, where these are big studios putting a lot of money into these games, and you want to make sure that you get a good return. So it's a lot safer to make Call of Duty 8 than it is whatever your
I
new
think,
game's going to be.
Are we
Let's see
talking?
that.
Are we talking reboots or sequels, Tyler? In this instance, because
Yes.
I'm thinking well, from a reboot standpoint, Punch Out came out on the Wii, and I really liked that. But they have, Punch Out for the NES. But because of the time gap between the two, it feels completely different, and a lot of things control differently.
Yeah.
And they had the Wii motion controls, whereas with what you're talking about, Brian, with the sequels, is that they seem to be the same damn game every single time it comes out with just a few extra tweaks, whereas the Punch-Out felt more like a brand new game just in the spirit of a previously released title.
Right, and there's a good and a bad way to do it.
Innovation on that it did feel like a completely different game.
Yeah.
And it's probably because like I'm a lot closer to the game industry than I am to the movie industry. Like there are plenty of weird little indie games coming out, that I get into, and the big AAA titles, like I just ignore them and I don't care. It's probably the same for the movie industry, but I'm not nearly as invested there. So I just look at the top grossing films, and it's like, oh, 90% of them are not original material. Sweet.
Well, and we're in a small town here, so we don't get those indie films. We have to wait for months and months and months to maybe possibly get them, or we have to go somewhere else. I remember when the Book Thief. That was a book that my wife and I. It's a movie based on a book that my wife and I both read and loved, and we wanted to see the movie, and it wasn't playing anywhere near here. The closest theater we could find it playing was in Cleveland, the Cleveland, Ohio area, and that was not going to happen, and we ended up having to wait like a couple extra weeks, and it finally showed up at a theater that was
White people problems.
like 45 miles away, because we live in a terrible small town that only shows the what's this that Twitch is trying to advertise me? The Fate of the Furious. Yes, that one. I had to move Tyler's head to read this.
I have to say, I'm glad Horizon Zero Dawn is doing so well, though. It's nice to see a new IP sell so well.
Sure.
Yeah,
it's encouraging.
I'm with you there. I like new things too, but I also can get excited about them taking an existing thing and turning it into a movie, or, adapting old movies, reimagining them. I'm okay with all that stuff.
I'm okay with it once in a while. I just wish it wasn't like the market seems like it's been flooded with that stuff for years.
The Call of Duty comparison isn't unjust because it is guaranteed money. You slap, Beauty and the Beast, it doesn't matter with live action people, and that thing would have sold. But they actually
if I were putting millions into a project, I'd want it to be something like that, where it's like, yep, this is gonna make money. Mm-hmm. Or at the very least, you're not gonna lose everything on it because it's already got an audience. Before you ever shoot a scene, it's got an audience.
So much of this is less about art and making something that you have a passion for, and it's more studio executives and game studios
business
wanting to just turn a profit.
I think it's easy to
it works
that.
though.
Yeah, but I mean, then you look at something like Beauty and the Beast, and it's very clear that they took time and took people who were passionate about that project and actors that wanted to be there and put together a really cool production. So,
but then look at the movie. But then you look at the trailer for it, and you compare it to the movie that came out, 30 years ago, and it looks like it's going to be damn near close to a shot-for-shot remake of this film. Yeah, it doesn't look very different at all, other than
it's an easy sell.
Other than it's HD now, and it looks to be maybe a little bit darker in color palette.
Everyone my age is going to look back and be like, that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I'm going to go see that again.
Mm-hmm. No, give me Tim Curry. Not my Pennywise. Don't you want your balloon?
I'm not above going to see, my wife and I went to a showing of Jaws, the original Jaws, in a movie theater a few summers back, and that was super cool. They cashed in on a bunch of money on the movie they already made too. I'm totally fine with that as well. So yeah, anyway, I was curious because I know that it's come up a couple other times. I didn't know if a remake was just an instant write-off for you or not, or if it was something that you were, more flexible.
It can be done well and they can be done right. It's constant. It feels like there's not a lot of variety in Hollywood.
And I feel like for every Beauty and the Beast out there, you get 3 or 4 Ghostbusters.
What's that mean, buddy?
Means that I watched the reboot of Ghostbusters and it was freaking terrible, not because there were women in the movie.
Yeah, you hate women. That's what that means. Way to go, Kring. Misogynist.
Because my wife was really excited to see. I actually wanted to see Ghostbusters as well. I love the original Ghostbusters. I wanted to see it, and I just did not like it. And you watch videos of that stupid fucking director, I can't even remember his name right now, talking about how they had such great chemistry and we just let him go and we just let him shoot. And I'm watching it and they had zero on-screen chemistry at all. It was god-awful and terrible.
Just
All right, we better
wind
yank
them up
him.
and turn them loose.
Yeah, I was gonna say we need to yank him before this just turns into a shitfest on Ghostbusters.
No, keep
for an
going,
hour.
keep going.
I fucking hate Ghostbusters so much.
Where's my Crystal Skull vodka? I got it around here
Here we
somewhere.
go.
Somebody get me Ecto Cooler.
Why is it not?
That's. I'm sorry. I'll stop. But I
Here
fucking
comes-
hate
here comes-
Ghostbusters.
Here comes the music. What we've been playing. All right. Play music. Play Kring right off the stage here. Maxwell,
Yeah, buddy.
you hope I'm messing things up. This is fine. Everything's fine.
You?
No.
No.
What
Ecto
is
Cooler, huh?
What's up with Child of
Okay.
Light, huh? You know?
What is up with Child of Light?
Yeah.
What is up with that?
My 5-year-old son asked if we could play a game, and I found this in my Steam library, and I didn't know if he'd go for it because it's an RPG.
Mm-hmm.
The second player, it's kind of like Mario Galaxy, where the second player could like point the controller at the screen to grab the stars for you, but didn't really have a whole lot to do for real. It's a little bit like that.
Okay.
Um,
I played this
and
a
Child
little
of
bit.
Light, yes, go on.
No, I was just gonna say I think I tried to do the same thing with my daughter, but she was too young at the time. But it was the same idea.
Yeah, like in the game you play this princess who is killed or apparently killed at the beginning, and then she wakes up in this dream world, and she's got this little like spark that travels with her that the second player can control. It controls like a platformer until you get into combat. It's like turn-based, like JRPG style combat. The second player controls this little beam of light that can fly around and like blind the enemies and open chests for you, and like they have to solve some puzzles. There's puzzles that revolve around light and shadow. In combat, he can blind the enemies too. And he got pretty into it. Like, I wondered if he would not want to play that role because, like the first player's controlling the princess and running around and swinging the sword. And he was like, "No, Dad, you should do that because that looks a lot harder." I'm like, oh, okay, good. That's that's an argument dodged.
Yep.
But yeah, he had a lot of fun with it, and it's a pretty good RPG. I'm enjoying it so far. Like, it looks like a kid's game. It's got this like watercolor sort of look to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's got some melancholy to it, like the music and some of the enemies. It's not a fun, bright, colorful kids game. And the combat's actually pretty interesting, for turn-based combat.
Yeah,
Like there's a meter at the bottom of the
meters,
screen
yeah.
where like your icons move along it, and then when you get to the last like quarter of the meter, you choose your action for the round. And if something hits you before you get to the end of the meter, you get interrupted, and your action doesn't go off.
And you
Some of your actions are slow. Yeah.
Can't you see the enemies down there too and like do the same thing
Yep.
to them? Yeah, you can interrupt them and
Yep.
stuff.
And some of the actions are slow and some are fast. So there's like some strategy as far as like if you can interrupt the enemies or not, and if they can interrupt you. And there's a timing aspect to it. That's pretty cool.
Kring, this was free as part of Games with Gold on the Xbox One for a minute. Did you ever pick this one up?
Oh, it's in my library. Have I ever
Yeah.
played it? No. No.
It's real
I've
cool.
not.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think it worth.
Pleasantly surprised.
Oh shit! That reminds me. I gotta renew soon, or I'm gonna lose everything.
Oh darn it! All you'll be so okay. Never mind. I'm not gonna turn this into an Xbox One shitfest. I promise.
Well, I can do that for you if you
No,
want.
haven't had one of those in a while.
No, it's fine. Child of
Been
Light is
about 2
cool.
weeks.
You guys should check that shit out. It's rad.
Yeah, I'm surprised. It's like it kind of looks like a simple kids game, but it's not. It's a RPG ass RPG.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it.
it's a Ubisoft, right? Makes it.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yep. I used to have to sign into the
Oof.
like Uplay thing, but like that's linked with Steam now, so I don't have to do that anymore.
That's cool.
I have the same reaction, Kring. Like I'm of two minds because I want everything on Steam. When I see it's like Origin or Uplay or something, I'm just like, I don't want that. But a little competition's good. I don't know that we want every PC game to be in just one front. I don't know if that's great.
And that's something that, like, as PC gamers, I feel like we get up our own ass about. Like, we're talking about literally clicking 3 times in a different program to launch a game, and like we get that upset about it. Like, I had to use Origin and update Origin. Oh my god,
I'm not upset about that. It just always felt like every damn time you launched Origin, it was requiring an update. So you would try to launch Origin, and every single time you did it, you'd launch it the day before, and you come back, and every damn day it needs an update.
Right.
It's just,
there are
for a while it
downsides
seems
to
like that. It's not.
I don't want to dismiss every single
just-
complaint, but I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of things, it's
They're making it better.
you have to update
There was
everything.
a-
It's not that big.
There was a
deal.
time when Steam had like daily updates as well.
There
Yep.
was.
There's a GIF out there on the internet somewhere of somebody getting worked over by the Steam logo. I'm sure if you Google it, you'll find it.
Is that the one where it installs and then like errors out and uninstalls?
Nope, it's the gear shaft thing going right into somebody.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, that's...
Completely different gift than I was thinking.
Yes.
Of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
We're looking for realism in our getting railed by Steam gifts, Tyler.
Yeah, it was pretty real.
It's real for that guy.
It was real for him. All right. Luke, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about the game Rebel Galaxy, which is totally not a Star Wars game?
No, I
It should
cannot.
be a Star Wars game.
Oh, okay. You played it, though.
Rebel Galaxy is a space trading combat sim-ish game.
Oh, okay.
That's
All right.
Shocker.
Yeah, right. So basic premise is your aunt was a smuggler, and she gives you this ship and tells you to meet her somewhere. And you do, but she's not there. So you talk to the bartender.
Is
and
her
he
name
starts-
Aunt Baru?
And he just starts sending you on quests. And you can track down your aunt or you cannot. But as you go through and get different missions, you obviously get money. And you upgrade
Obviously.
your ship's weapons, shields, armor plating, tractor beam, cargo hold, get brand new ships. And you can make your way either as a merchant or a pirate or do whatever else you want.
Does the bartender look like the guy from the Abe's Odyssey games on purpose?
You'd have to ask the developer.
Okay.
You know what? He might
So-
look like that, Tyler, but at least he's got better facial animations than Mass Effect. So
Still
Luke-
better than Andromeda.
Too
Yes,
soon.
Brian.
You said you can be a merchant or a pirate. Is that like a path that you choose and then you're playing as one or the other, or do you kind of like, can you dabble in both?
Oh, you can do
Yeah.
both, but there's
Okay.
different factions. So if you go through and start working for the merchants, you'll get street cred or space cred with them, but maybe
There's
not
no
so much
streets.
with the pirates.
can I,
Gotcha.
be like an undercover pirate who moonlights as a merchant?
Good question.
Can I do
That's a
that?
good question.
Can you be
Yes.
an undercover
I'm
pirate?
just going to go ahead and say yes.
Okay.
You can.
Confirm.
I just want my loyalties to be known, but present a respectable front to the general public so that I can continue my nefarious ways.
I'm sure you can.
Narco
Games are
Cola
life.
isn't
Yep.
legal in most places. You're trying to
Yeah,
sell
it's
some
not.
Narco Cola,
I'm trying to get some, actually.
huh? Oh,
And it's not really sold anywhere.
Luke, I don't know if I'm
Combat-
sold on these graphics. I don't know if I'd pay $20 for these graphics or not.
Well, as I said earlier, if the graphics are free, I'll play it. This game was gifted to me, so.
Ah, there you go. All right.
Combat, your ship is actually limited to just a 2D plane, while the other ships can fly around you in 3D space,
Other
but
ships
your
OP.
other guns will match the trajectory and target them.
So you can't target in a 3D space, but you'll target in like a 2D space, and it will go where it's supposed to go 3D. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Well,
kind of like Doom.
Your broadside turrets,
They
shoot just on a 2D angle, and they kind of fly off to the ship. They track them. Your turrets at the top of the ship, you can actually aim in whatever area you want.
Gotcha.
It's really supposed to be more based on naval combat. Even describes that in the tutorial, like this is naval combat with broadside attacks. And it's pretty intuitive and actually really fun. The other thing, which I really wish we could have played, is the music. It has a very rock, twangy sound to it. And the whole game really kind of feels like Firefly to me.
Rock,
You feel like you're...
twangy? Does it?
Yeah.
Does it seem like they mixed
Here it
thrash
is.
metal and bluegrass?
No, does not.
Knew it was coming. I'll play a little bit of it. Here you go. I'll crank this up a minute. Yeah, okay. You guys can't hear it, but I mean, Twitch will be able to hear it.
It sounds real good to Tyler, though.
Yeah.
So is this something you're gonna stick with, Luke?
Yeah, I would like to. It is kind of really difficult, though. There's a weird mechanic to the game I was reading about where it changes the difficulty based on how many upgrades you've done to your weapons. And if you upgraded your weapons but not your shields or your ship, you can get into a vastly overpowered area because of it. But they also made it so that you can buy and sell upgrades for the same price. So if you buy a laser for 5,000 credits, you can sell it back for 5,000 credits.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
it's designed that you can go through and mix and match stuff and play around with the upgrades. And
Kind of respec.
yeah, I'm pretty much on the fly without any repercussions.
That's
Seems
nice.
good.
Yeah, but I like it. It's really curious to see how the different factions work out.
Well, your ship is just getting shot to hell.
Yeah,
It is not an easy game.
Red Devil
this
Harriers
is,
giving you a run for your money there.
This is when I got ambushed.
I see what you're saying, and they're saying about the naval style combat. The combat looks very reminiscent of Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Hmm.
It feels a lot like that from what I'm seeing in the video, which I love that game. So
That was
Yeah,
a
it's
good
like that
game.
looked like aerial dog
Black
fights, like
Flag
you're doing
in
strafing runs.
space.
Yeah, the fighters all come at you different angles, which is what your turrets are for. But the other, like, capital warships will come in at the sides for broadside.
That's good stuff, man. That is good stuff. Well, Brian,
Yeah.
you know, there's a thing, and it's called Guild of Dungeoneering. And I'm going to
There
put
is.
it on the screen. Right there it is. There it is. This looks like, it looks like it was drawn in my notebook from 9th grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
I dig that.
Yeah, do. Yes. In this game, you are controlling a guild of
Okay.
Dungeoneers.
Oh,
Yep.
it's a good name. They chose a good name for that.
They did, aptly named. So you go out to these dungeons, you get gold, you come back and you upgrade your guild. Like you purchase new rooms for your guild, which unlocks new classes, unlocks new items that can be found in chests. So when you go out to the dungeons, like you're given a hand of cards and you're sort of building the dungeon from the cards in your hand as you go.
Okay.
Like every turn you can play 3 cards. You've got hallways that you can play. You've got monsters and treasure. So you can drop down a hallway, drop down a monster, drop down a treasure chest, and walk over there and fight it and get the treasure.
Cool.
The combat is turn-based. It's a card game. It's kind of a deck building game in a way. Like you've got different kinds of damage, and you've got shields that block different kinds of damage. When you get gear, the gear gives you new cards in your deck. And if you're thinking this sounds very much like a Brian game, you are absolutely right.
Yeah, I
It's a
almost
lot
said
of high
it. You
points
read
for
my
me.
mind. I was like, deck building, cute, very stylized art style, and shit to collect, and it's create your own, RPG adventure kind of deal. So yeah, it sounds like you all the way.
Yep, it's on PC. It was on a Humble Bundle, so I got it for Android. Been playing it on my
cool.
phone.
Oh, no,
How's it play on your phone?
Really well so far. The interface is nice and had no issues. It's got really good music too.
Brian, I would like to commend you.
Thank you.
For your ability to troll me every damn week, because you pick these games
Open
with these cute fun art styles, and I'm like, yes, I want to try this out. This game looks really great. And then you just completely let me down by saying it's a card game and
Yeah,
it's a deck building thing, and
Well-
I have absolutely no interest in that at all, and it makes me want to
card
gouge
games
my
are good.
eyes out.
Frank.
Card games are good with people, not on a screen.
Fucking hate people, man.
Ooh. People, you're on
No, we all
notice.
like.
Yeah, they are the worst.
No, it's good though. We all kind of like different things. We've got a little bit of overlap, but Luke likes space, and I like cards, and you like driving, and Tyler likes swords.
Swords. Yep.
Dressing up
Yeah.
dollies.
Speaking of things I like, well, Brian, before I jump into it, is there anything else you wanted to tell us about Guild of Dungeoneering before we slide on out of that?
The music's really good. It's got this kind of, I'm going to say, like, the kind of music you'd hear at a Renaissance fair, and I'm not trying to mean that in a bad way.
Not a pejorative way.
Like,
Yeah.
it sounds like someone's playing a lute, and there's a lot of, they sing a little ditty when your mans die, and it's got this kind of tongue-in-cheek.
God damn it, you're
Humor.
making everything about this game sound awesome and making me want to play it. Then I have to realize that it's a card game.
Just pretend it's not.
Yeah, pretend it's not.
I can't not pretend it. I'm watching these cards get played, and it just literally is making me question my entire feelings about this hobby of video games, because it's not a video game, it's a card game.
Did you want to talk about Hearthstone?
No, I don't want to talk about Hearthstone.
I could talk
because
about Hearthstone.
Hearthstone's the actual worst.
Kring, what do you like?
Not card games. Very clearly not card games.
God. So angry.
It's weird though, because I'll play Risk.
Well,
I'll play a digital
Okay.
version of Risk.
well, you're just a hypocrite then.
I'm basically like I'm just a different version of Luke.
We need to revive board game nights, so I can show you dude on a map games that are not Risk.
There you go.
We need to play Chaos in the Old World.
Sign me up. I'm down. Come over here. We'll do it in my house.
They
We'll
don't-
stream it, maybe. Or not. It's fine. Hey, you know what? Let's talk about Heroes of the Storm, huh?
Speaking of streaming,
Yeah, we did a lot of that this week.
We did that.
Man, Heroes, for one, we all got the bug back. Well, except Luke. Sorry, Luke. The three of us, though, have been hitting Heroes pretty hard every night, and they just got a huge announcement. Like, we're going to be getting Heroes 2.0, which they've completely
2.0.
revamped. Yeah, they've completely revamped the progression and leveling system. The whole loot system has been redone. Tons of new skins and stuff coming to the game. They've announced new heroes. They're working on a new map. Like, this is stuff that normally would get announced during BlizzCon or one of their other big events, and they just dropped it all during the summit. They brought in a bunch of people from the community and released this information to them, and a couple days later announced it all. And it's all up on the PTR right now. You can check it out, try it.
And it's a small thing, but I like that they've got a roadmap on the website now. You can go and it'll say, like, on this date we're going to announce this, and on April 24th we're going to announce a new hero.
Yep.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I like knowing what to expect.
New Battleground in 2 weeks.
That's
At least
crazy.
announced.
That's crazy. Yeah. And
I hope it's a Warcraft themed one. There's a straight up, like, what is it? Terran Mill.
Terran Mill was technically a battleground for a very short time. I think you're thinking of Alterac Valley, or no, you're probably thinking of Arathi Basin. Was one of the.
It wasn't a battleground. It was I know
Oh.
like Terran Mill, and there was another.
South
It was Terran
Shore.
Mill, and yeah,
That's where all the PvP happened for a while. Yeah.
that always seemed like that would make a good Heroes map to me.
That would be cool. They actually apparently I think Towers of Doom at one point was designed, like the original guts of that was an Arathi Basin remake in Heroes, which is one of the most popular battlegrounds that they ever made in Warcraft. So there's a chance we could still see that. But yeah, I'd be totally. They even announced in the video, they were like, we did a Diablo event and brought you 2 maps from, the High Heavens and the Burning Hells. We've got 2 StarCraft themed maps in the game now with Braxis Holdout and Warhead Junction. So yeah, if they want to throw some Warcraft maps at me, I'll be all about that.
Seems like the logical next place to go.
Mm-hmm. What if they went like Overwatch and just totally skipped it?
Be fine by me.
We have a map where we have to escort some car through it. Let's do it.
A payload game in Heroes. Sign me up for it.
That could work.
One of the brawls was kind of like that, where you kind of escorted the ship through an asymmetrical map. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blackheart's Revenge or whatever it was called. Yeah.
And that's kind of like that.
Same basic concept anyway.
But anyway, Tyler, loot boxes.
Loot boxes.
Loot
yeah.
boxes.
About time they gave you some incentive, to keep playing. Once I get to 9 now, like 9's the last tier where you get like a gold reward until level 15, which might as well be level 1 billion. Like 15 takes forever.
Yeah,
so there's no real incentive to keep playing.
I think we got to give them some credit because people like to criticize the Heroes model because, there's games like Dota out there that just give you all the heroes for free forever. And all that you pay for is cosmetics and that kind of thing. For a long time, Heroes has stayed away from most of that stuff. They just sold skins and the heroes. And they're rather expensive. But you couldn't really buy any other types of customization stuff. Now they're kind of flipping that around. They're doing the loot box thing where at the end of, whenever you level up one of your characters, you'll get a loot box. And there's certain milestones where you'll get better ones that have a chance to drop more stuff. Mm-hmm. But along with that, they're adding a bunch more skins. They're separating out like just different tints and calling those like low-level skins.
I think that's how Overwatch works, isn't it?
Yep.
Like the same skin with different tints. It's a whole different skin, essentially.
Right. Yep.
That's how it's treated.
You don't just get 3 different variants when you buy one skin. Now they're set up as separate ones. But you also have a chance to get them for absolutely no money and for free now. So they are also adding announcer packs, voice lines, sprays, banners, emojis. There's all
What's
kinds.
the banner? Do you know? Is that just?
It's like a flag that gets planted whenever you cap something in the game. So like if you take an objective or you deal the killing blow to a fort or a keep, your banner gets dropped down and stays there for the rest of the match. It's my understanding. When you take camps and stuff, I think it happens too. So yeah, kind of a neat little thing to
why not
drop your flare on the map, something to show your prowess. I guess
the announcer packs that's cool.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's an Abathur one.
Yep, there is an Abathur one, and there is a murky
there
one
is an
as
Abathur
well.
one.
There's a murky.
Abathur one.
Yep, and they're going to have 3 types of currency now.
Yes, this is the part where I wouldn't say this is necessarily an improvement. It might be. I'm going to hold off judgment until we see it.
It feels like a downgrade, though. Initial gut reaction.
Well, that's because the names are horrible. You have
That
now
is
part of it.
you have gold, which works exactly the same as gold did before. You earn that for playing matches and for certain
No.
milestones.
Can you still buy heroes with gold?
Yes,
'Cause I know it's used to reroll your loot boxes if you don't like what you got.
that and buying heroes. Yes, you can use it for either
Okay.
thing. So that doesn't change. What does change is there's no more real money purchases. You can't just directly buy a thing for $14.99. Now you have to buy gems. Groans. Go ahead and let the groans out.
What am I playing? Bejeweled?
Yeah. Candy Crush Soda Pop Saga. That's what it is.
Yep, you can resurrect now for 5 gems.
Yeah, that part sucks. It's a dumb name. Gems make you think of crappy mobile games, and it's bad. But, I mean, League does the same thing. They just call them Riot Points. It doesn't matter. Gems, Riot Points. Am I wrong there, Luke? Isn't that how that works? If you want to buy a character in League, you got to buy some Riot Points first, and then use those to...
It's like the Microsoft, space
Yeah,
bucks.
for sure. You just have to buy their in-game currency, and then using that, you can buy skins or heroes or whatever else you want.
So it
So-
seems like... Oh, go ahead, Kring.
It's all just carnival tickets.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, it seems...
You can get those in-game, though, too, can't you? Like,
Yes.
don't you get gems in-game at certain...
Yep. There's certain
Certain
progression
levels.
levels that will reward gems as well. And one of the cool things that I heard kicked around on some of the other community sites and podcasts and stuff was this idea that because they're moving it away from cash money, yeah, they might be able to reward this stuff as part of community tournaments or for different events or things like that, since it's money that can only be used in Heroes of the Storm. That could be pretty cool. There's the likelihood the conversion will be easier from your BattleNet account to do like your BattleNet balance from selling gold in WoW or the WoW tokens or whatever. Converting that over to gems and heroes might be easier. There's different cross promotional stuff that they might be able to do. So that's interesting because you'll be able to use gems to purchase loot boxes or heroes. I don't think this is the one thing that's changing a bit. I do not think you can use real money to purchase skins anymore directly. I
You have to craft them.
you have to craft them with the third currency, which is shards. And you get shards from opening loot boxes and from getting duplicate items. So the cosmetics in the game, it doesn't look like, at least right now, will be directly purchasable unless they're part of a featured bundle or something. So
And we'll have to see how this feels. Like, I went into the PTR earlier tonight, and I had 5 chests waiting for me on the PTR.
mhm.
I think I got 2 heroes, 2 mounts. Out of 5 chests, I think they were just common chests. So
yeah,
seems
That's-
all right so far.
that's something that is going to be kind of neat. They've got a system in place to give veteran players who've been playing for a while a big old pile of loot boxes when they first log into this new system. There's been quite a bit of controversy over Reddit about this.
It's never enough.
Yeah, I'm in both camps on this one. I feel like it's we've been playing this game for a long time. The people who are going to get the max amount of loot boxes out of this also have accrued a ton of stuff over the 2 years that they've been playing the game.
Yep.
Most of them anyway. A lot of free stuff that these new players won't be able to get to. So there's 2 sides to it, but the other side is that it's going to be much easier to gain these loot boxes if you're a brand new player. So you'll be able to get much more of them if you're starting brand new. That's why people are a little upset about it. Again, it's not a huge
Yeah.
deal. I don't think it's a...
We're going to be getting free stuff. Our game's going to be getting better.
Yeah. New players are going to be encouraged to keep playing.
Yeah,
I'm cool
I
with
think
it.
it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you there. Yeah, what do you think, Luke? Any of this stuff sound cool enough to get you to reinstall that game? You gonna click that install button?
Time will tell on this one.
Time will tell.
No,
on
it
this
won't.
one?
You're not going to do it.
I get it. I don't want to pressure Luke into jumping into the salt fest that can be heroes, but
Well,
Just
we
saying
get the
it's-
3 of us and Vito and Luke. We don't have any randos on our team.
that's true.
That eliminates an awful lot of that.
That's true.
We just got to mute Kring, and then we're
Yeah,
good.
just turn me off. I just snap this microphone right clean off.
See, Luke, you're not going to get a better offer than that.
That's pretty tempting.
Pretty strong one. Well, that's good stuff. I'm planning on streaming more Heroes, and when 2.0 goes live, if I have done the math correct, I should get about 66 loot boxes out of this thing.
A lot of loot boxes.
70's the cap.
70's the cap. Yep. I think you'd have to have. I think they said something like.
Then in that case, I'm starting to lean more towards Tyler. If you think that you're going to be getting 66, and the cap is at 70, I mean, you've played a lot of this game, but you are nowhere by any means at the top end of
Well, here's okay.
that game. So there's going to be a
the-
ton of people that have way more playtime, way more stuff done, and they're just going to end up with just 4 more boxes than you.
Well, yeah, and that's why they're complaining though, because the flip side of it is a brand new player will be getting like hundreds of loot boxes.
They'll be earning them at a
Right.
faster rate.
They'll be getting
Right.
them at a faster rate. If they were to put it, the argument people are making is like if you took my time, right, which they're calculating as being worth 66 loot boxes, and I waited and I just put that time in, starting
On
in
a new
2.0, a new account on when 2.0 goes live. At the end of that, I would have gotten hundreds of loot boxes instead of just the 66 or whatever that I'm going to get. The problem is, I heard a really good comparison the other day. It's like if you go and start a new job, you get promoted at work, right?
Right.
They don't go, well, since you make $10,000 more now than you did for the last 3 years, we're gonna make sure you get caught up on all that back time that you were here and pay you the difference of what you would have made then now, because that wouldn't be fair. You already put in all that work. Like that's not how that works. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm with Brian, and like we need to check our privilege here a little bit.
Well, it's
And,
it's the nature of the loudest complainers too. They're always the biggest jackasses who are just like, "Fuck you, Blizzard! You know, how could you do this to us? Blizzard hates us." And it's
you're
just like,
punishing
just
us.
leave.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
fine. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Please go. You spoiled
Yeah.
little child.
Yeah, those are the kind of people that bitch at you for not playing, well on quick match on the PTR.
Yeah, don't tell Luke that story. Did we already accidentally tell Luke that story?
I think I,
I don't
should hear
know.
this
Luke,
one.
earmuffs.
Kring jumped onto the PTR to try out, just the new system and everything, and didn't totally understand how the brand new hero that was out only on the
'Cause I
PTR
had-
for a couple hours didn't understand how her ults worked and was like standing in a position to get killed by it. And this player who was also playing the new hero just lit him up. It was insane.
Lit me up for not understanding it, for getting her killed. But then now that I understand how the ult works, like we were both trying to get away and both had to go through our gate, and being in close proximity to each other, it's like a lightning ball that bounces back and forth between heroes. We both had to go through the gate because we were both about to die, so we had to be close together. Like one of us was going to die to the team, or we were both going to die to the ult. It was just like a bad situation. But I am the one who got shit on because I'm bronze and live, and this person's diamond, which immediately makes them a superior human being to me. And it was just insane.
On the
Like-
PTR, like it doesn't. Like, I don't think it considers your MMR. I think
It
it
doesn't.
just shoves people together.
It doesn't. And this guy's complaining about it being MMR hell and giving, like, our Varian wasn't playing very well. And he said, "Sorry guys, I'm real rusty with Varian. Yeah, I haven't played him in a long time." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, whatever. It's cool. It's cool.
People,
It's just I'm in here to check out the new system. It's quick match on the PTR. All I'm trying to do is maybe get a level up so that I can earn a loot box and just see how that all goes." And I ended up just feeding for the rest of the match because I was getting sick of listening to that dude, and then quit after that. Didn't get a loot box. Yep.
How can you play with such a shitty environment?
Well,
You
it's-
play League of Legends, Luke.
I played, and that's the very reason I got out of it.
It's not
here's
though,
the thing,
because
though.
I don't run into a lot of diamond people who are just going to immediately go, "Oh, you're bronze? How do you even do that? Are you even a human being?" that doesn't happen all that often.
The problem is that you run into a lot of people.
You know what's great? You can turn all of them off. You can just uncheck allied
And
chat.
I normally would have, but this was just, I was flabbergasted at the stuff this person was saying, and I wanted to like make direct quotes when I reported him too. It was crazy.
It's not a word I hear very often.
Flabbergasted?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a good word, dude.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Well, that pretty much covers. I mean,
Wait.
We'd
So
be
you
here
said
all day
you're gonna be streaming more of this, Tyler?
Yeah, for sure.
Can you make sure that in the future you set up like, I'm real disappointed in this because the bottom your face at the bottom of the little Skype window is kind of, parallel with and in line with your face in the bottom of your heroes window there. And I want to see a
confused about
moment.
which one is the real me.
No, what I want is a moment where like you turn from your little heroes window and you wave, and then you turn in the Skype window and you go, "Oh, hey Tyler, how's it going?" That's what I want to see.
Yeah, maybe you could hook that up for us.
I'll work that into the next one. Yeah, for sure.
Make it like an video.
We'll do like a little high five or something. That'll be cool.
Yeah, and you could get it so that like you could get your daughter or your wife to come in and like high five on the screen, so you get like a hand to actually touch, and then it would just add to that real.
Your wife will probably do that.
Or just call me up. I'll come over and I'll do it real quick. Just high five you and then leave.
It sounds like a great investment of all of our time.
A lot of good ideas.
Yeah.
We need this in our lives, Tyler. It makes for great television.
I feel like you need this.
Yeah.
I really do.
You know what, Kring? Go buy a bunch of new T-shirts over at our Design by Humans store, and that'll fund that. We'll be able to afford to do that level of video production for you.
Or I could just come over to your house.
We have a merch store now, and if you scroll to the bottom of our Twitch page, there's a link to it. And if you want to buy a T-shirt with a Questlog logo on it, then you can do that now. Yay! All right. Self-promotion over. Let's talk.
We're officially sellouts.
Yeah, we're officially sellouts.
Yep.
Let us talk about some news with music that's playing in the wrong window.
It's the best way to talk about news.
Yeah. Oh man, so where is my news? Where's the big news of the week? Oh, StarCraft! It's getting remastered in 4K, and you'll be able to get the original for free. And no one sounds excited at all about that. That's okay.
Is there anyone who doesn't have the original StarCraft already? There must be.
Hello, hi.
Yeah.
Nice,
Okay.
nice to meet you. I promise
No
you, Kring
judgment.
doesn't have it.
Yeah. Also, hi.
Luke,
Hi.
Hello.
StarCraft.
No. Play the original. That's it. Don't own any of them though.
But it's in space.
I gotta wonder if this is kind of taking a step back from StarCraft 2 as far as competitive goes. If they're just kind of acquiescing, like, all right, everyone never stopped loving Brood War. Let's.
I think they're gonna do this with all of their games. I think
Probably.
they're eventually just going to remaster their old stuff and try to keep that alive. That seems to be a Blizzard thing. They don't just make a game and then
Leave
move
it.
on to the next thing. Yeah, it's a thing that they support for fucking 20 years. I don't know. You might be right. Maybe it is, just a, hey,
don't know.
finally
I'm
you
just
can
guessing.
play this thing on the big screen and people care about it, so might as well look pretty. Could be. But either way, I think its time has passed. I've never been an RTS guy, and I'm not looking to get started now.
Yeah. I was long time ago.
Yeah. So I don't know. If it's gonna be free, I might check it out. I did play the original long ago on PC, but I didn't finish it, and I was too young to really care about it, I think, or understand it.
I think
Sorry.
StarCraft 2 is one of those games where I wish I could just watch all of the cinematic
I did that.
videos. And
Me and
just
my
call
wife
it a
sat
day.
down for like 2 hours one night and watched all the StarCraft 2 cinematics, and
Yeah.
It was good. It was like I played, I played 5 or 6 missions and just couldn't get into it. And I think my RTS days are behind me. It gets real ridiculous by the end, like anime ridiculous, but it's kind of awesome.
Did you even
it's
watch
worth
like,
watching.
the expansions and stuff? Like
Yeah. The whole thing.
Yeah, I hear the Legacy of the Void stuff is kind of sweet. So yeah,
Blizzard's always made really good cinematics.
Mm-hmm.
their stories can be kind of generic, but I dig them. It's always the hero power fantasy, and I dig that.
It's
Generic
weird.
stories well told.
Like it's weird that these are characters that, like that I know from Heroes of the Storm, but like I'd never seen like Zeratul because I never played StarCraft 2. So when Zeratul pops up, I'm like, hey, he's from Heroes.
Oh, he's kind of cool.
Kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because I think, like, I was thinking about this the other day. Kring loves Heroes of the Storm, but doesn't love any of the Blizzard IPs. Like, doesn't have any connection to any of these characters.
Correct.
It just seems so strange to me.
We roped him into it.
Well,
That's true.
I think I love Heroes because I loved League of Legends. I got really into that. I just didn't like that game. Felt really slow, and Heroes is a much faster pace of play than League of Legends was, and that's what I like about it is that faster pace. There was a lot of time in League of Legends that was spent if you're going back to your what is it even called? If you're going back to your base, and then you're buying stuff at the shop, and then going back all the way out to halfway down the lane where the fight's going on, and it's just a bunch of walking, and you're moving slow, and you're just like, boy, this walking part sure is fun.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of it's almost like scripted, like the first 20 minutes or so, where it's
Yes, that's the other thing is like if you have to have this specific class of character to be in this specific lane, and you have to do these specific things. And if you're a support, you can't get any of the minion kills because you have to make sure that your carries are getting all the kills so that they can get all of the gold, so then they can go buy all the better items, and then they can go and be awesome. When you watch pro level League of Legends play, like you'll see your carries will all be at like, I don't remember what the levels are, but let's say level 18, whereas your supports will be at like level 12, and they won't have progressed very far along their builds because they're there
because that's how you do it. There's a right way and a wrong way to play it.
Right. They're there literally to do nothing but support their carries, not support the team, but support the carry.
And they would argue.
I wish I could say that Kring was wrong so I could defend League of Legends, but I really can't say that.
I think League players would tell you that that's not a bad thing. It's because that's what separates the pro players from the plebes, is because they're mechanically able to do these things with such precision that it sets them apart. That the skill ceiling then becomes higher, and there's a reason that they're doing that. In Heroes, it's all about team fights. It's all about actually just fighting each other, and that can sometimes be a matter of just who gets 100-0 erased first, and
yeah. All the different maps are the other thing that really sets Heroes apart, I feel.
Yeah.
Heroes feels less about mechanical mastery and more about strategical team building.
Right.
It's more about how you build your team and how you play as a team, as opposed to whether or not you are mechanically the best at getting that last shot on that minion to collect the gold.
And some people are into that. That's some people love. I'm with you. I like the hero style. That's my game.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with the other way too. It's just. Yeah,
but I have loaded up Diablo. I have loaded up Diablo, Tyler. I do have Diablo. I do very much like the cinematics. Blizzard is very good at that, and I probably would have played the crap out of Diablo if I had gotten into it when it was something you guys were all playing. But it's not.
Well,
Kind of
we
my
went into
like
it pretty heavy for a while.
single player bag.
get ready, because once that Necromancer drops, I foresee some Diablo 3 in our future.
When's that coming out?
They haven't given it a hard date, but it was playable
Soon?
at the last BlizzCon, I think. So it's coming.
I wouldn't be
I mean, I'm
surprised if
not
it's
gonna-
like summer, maybe. I don't know.
I think it's like
Yeah.
June or July.
I'm not gonna not play it now. I mean, like, got to at this point.
You'll not play it.
Yeah.
Shut up, Luke.
Yeah, it'll be soon. So
Luke's probably right.
TM. That'll be cool. What else is on our list for news items? Big
The
X1,
Xbox got an update.
Yeah, the Xbox One interface got better? Question mark. What do you think?
No,
Is Netflix even easier to get to now?
no,
Nice, Luke.
no. It got dumb. They kind of did this like, Tyler, you had an Xbox and
Still do.
an Xbox 360.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
So it was always really great how you
Yeah.
could hit the home. When you hit the guide button, it wasn't a home button; it was a guide, and it would bring up this menu, and you could then select like people who are in your friends list to invite them into your party, start your
Yeah.
party check, that all going, and it was
A little
really
sidebar
easy.
thing popped in, yeah.
Really
Or no, a little
easy.
window in the
It was
middle.
a window in the middle.
Yeah.
They have done something similar now, where it's like this sidebar that pops up. You can access all these things, but they've already rewritten my brain to know that that button takes me to the home screen, and so now that's changed, and that button doesn't take me to the home screen anymore. I have to hit that button, and then I have to hit A twice because I'm selecting the menu options to get back to the home screen. If this had been, it's a little frustrating because switching over to an Xbox One from a 360 at launch was an exercise in just sheer confusion, not knowing what any of the interface did. This seems like a better version of the interface, but now I have to relearn the interface.
So
better starting point.
So it would have been a better starting point, but now I have to relearn it again.
So I've heard this is to help it integrate with Windows 10
Yes,
more better. Is that accurate?
it is.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely has that Windows 10 look to it, as far as the way these windows open up from the side and everything. Yeah, I don't know. I anytime interface changes happen that are big, it's hard. I remember when the Xbox 360 went from the blades to the new Xbox One update or whatever they called it at the time, and people hated that for a little bit too. I don't know. It's all
It's something I'll get used to. It's just going to be a bit of a struggle for that, and you mix that with the fact that I don't know what the fucking A or B button is because I've played so much Zelda, and
Yeah.
it makes it worse.
I finally got used to the A button being the right button and like being the one that used to accept everything and your action button. And then I went back and picked up my Xbox One controller to like get to Netflix. I'm like, why does it keep taking me out of Netflix every time I select it? Why does it just keep going to the home? I was like, oh, because I'm hitting B on my Xbox controller instead of A. Yeah, I did the same thing.
I will be honest. It when I first did it, it's like hit A twice to go back to the home screen. I'm like, sweet. So I hit the guide button, hit A twice. Well, no, I hit B twice. So I backed out of that little side panel and backed out of the game that I was in as well.
Nice. Yup. Well, that's.
But they did
unfortunate.
add something I'm interested to try out, and I didn't get a chance to. This Beam service that I guess it's going to be Microsoft's version of Twitch. Luke,
Yeah.
you had said something about how the stream quality was supposed to be like insane
I
on
said
this.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or Tyler said that. I'm sorry.
Tyler said that.
That's
So I'm
what I
interested to
heard.
try.
Yeah.
I'm interested to try it out because it looks. I mean, you hit that guide button in the middle, and it comes up on that little side panel, and you scroll down to where it is. And from the video that I saw of when the update hit, it looks like it's supposed to be pretty seamless. Like you just go down there, push the A button, and like you instantly start streaming, and then you can select, do you want to stream with audio, without audio? Do you want like microphone audio, or do you want your camera on or off? And it's just supposed to be super easy to do.
Cool. Yeah, you should definitely stream some Forza or whatever else you're playing on there, and
Hello Kitty Island Adventure,
and then export it to YouTube, and we'll put it out there. That sounds good. Brian,
So
this
what
one oh go ahead. Sorry, Luke.
Explain Beam. Like, is there a website for it? Can I go and watch people play
I think
now?
it's like Twitch.
It's Twitch, but
Yeah.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
For just Xbox, I assume.
I don't know
no.
if it'll be just Xbox or
Is
if
it
they're gonna
PC?
do it for PC too.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes sense.
there's
PC would be included.
Yeah, I saw
I
somebody
actually
playing
think
Zelda on it, so
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's legitimately just
Oh, it's
Microsoft Twitch.
Yep.
I'm reading that there's only a 200 millisecond delay.
That seems to be its big thing, is that the technology is supposed to be as close to live as as it can get currently. So seems cool. If they can make that work, I would definitely watch stuff there too.
It's another space where more competition's a good thing.
Yep, for sure. Brian, you put this in here about Planescape Torment,
I snuck it in there.
an
I did.
enhanced edition. That sounds good. What's enhanced about it?
I think they're going to try to clean up the look of it, make it run on new machines, take care of some of the bugs.
Yeah.
Like, it's still using the original art assets, so there's only so much they can do, but this is
this
something
like
that won't interest any of you, I'm sure, but
Is
Yes.
this like a fan thing? Like
Nope,
somebody's
it's-
doing it outside of the
it's
developer?
the same group that did there was a Baldur's Gate 1 expansion that just came out like a year ago. It's the same studio that did that.
cool.
Yeah, anything that can get this old game in front of more people, I think it's a good thing. It's one of my absolute all-time favorites.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know that you're whittling your way through your top 50, and I haven't seen this one yet. I expect it to be right there at the top, one of those
It's
5 or so,
Gotta be there.
right there at the very top.
music, story, sound. It's just a wonderful game. Combat's a little clunky. The interface was clunky even at the time, so I don't think it aged real well. But
This might
yeah,
help it a little. That's cool.
Yep.
Well, this is one. This next story is one that kind of breaks my heart a little bit. The makers of the shitty versions of the controller that you make your friends and like little cousin use when they come over to play your game system, they're Mad Cats. They're filing for bankruptcy. Bummer, man. That sucks. Like, am we gonna have to buy official controllers for my guests to use now? Is that gonna be what happens? I don't know if I want to live in that world.
yeah. I've been using the Afterglow, controllers in recent years, and that seems to be a real nice alternative. But yeah, you'd go in and be like, I don't want to spend $40 for an Xbox controller. How about I get a Mad Catz one for $19.99? I'm sure it's just as good.
Yeah,
I'm sure some other shitty third-party company will come along.
yeah. They're not gonna just leave that hole unfilled in the.
Yeah, it's a market there for sure. Someone will fill it.
Didn't they do like Rock Band accessories
Yes,
too? I want to say
Yeah.
yes,
that's
they did because
that's more of a gap. Yeah.
it was interesting because Guitar Hero was originally Red Octane and Harmonix, and then Red Octane went to when it split off, Harmonix got to keep making music games, but then Activision bought Red Octane and the Guitar Hero name, so they got their peripherals and the name, and Harmonix then partnered up with Mad Catz to make their stuff, and Rock Band 4 was a flop and a half. So Mad Catz lost a ton of money that they were kind of banking
Was that
on
the
when
is that the catalyst? You think?
well, it's saying it right here on the screen
Oh, okay.
too. That
Well, There you go.
Rock Band 4 sold poorly, and that
I thought you were just doing this all off of memory. I'm just like, wow.
That screwed
that's
that.
Wikipedia,
Well,
good
no,
job.
He's just reading the script.
It's fine. It's
I
fine.
knew that Mad Catz was doing the Rock Band stuff, and
There is no Easter Bunny. It's just a
But
guy
I-
in a suit.
but that was a major catalyst for this. Was that failure?
Gotcha. Well, I know I've still got PS2 controllers in my basement here somewhere that are Mad Catz, and
Rest in pizza.
someday someone's gonna come over here and go, "Damn it, why do I have to use this thing?" And that'll be Mad Catz. You struck again. Now, what's that, Green?
Am I the only one that didn't buy Mad Catz controllers because I thought they were shitty?
Maybe one.
Maybe you've never been that desperate, Green.
Not a second time.
I don't think I ever bought one.
I have a GameCube one and a PlayStation 2 one, and both of them are the ones company has to use when they come over. So,
It's okay.
That's
So
how it
if you ever
works.
go over to Tyler's house to play GameCube, bring your own controller.
yeah, bring your own
You'll be
controller.
sitting on a milk crate and using a Mad Catz controller.
Yeah. And when you come over to play Switch, you're getting the Joy-Cons. I'm sorry. It's just, that's how that's going to be. I'm using that Pro Controller. I'm a selfish bastard.
But what if I want to play 1-2 Switch?
Oh, well, you'll have to buy 1-2 Switch then.
And find new friends.
And find new friends. Go hang out with Karen on the rooftop terrace that has all the cool hipster kids. She'll play that with you.
All right.
Speaking of controllers, this is a good segue. What's the worst controller and the best controller that you've ever used? Go, someone.
I'm going to say the obvious one. I think the worst was the Nintendo 64 controller. It was innovative because it was the first analog stick, if I'm not mistaken, but that thing was uncomfortable to hold on to. But the analog stick right in the middle of it, it always felt flimsy, like it was about to snap off.
Tyler, will you do me a favor and bring up a picture on there?
Sure,
On-
I can,
on
I
the-
can
on the
get you
stream
some
there.
pictures.
Will
Sure.
And
you,
like 4 C buttons.
Will you?
What's that?
Yeah, bring up some of these controllers. But can you pop up the Atari 7800 controller on there real quick?
Atari 7800 controller, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, this depends on how far back we're going to, because the 5200 controllers were junk.
Holy cow.
It's the 7800 controller.
This thing looks like a gear shift.
We had an Atari when I was a small child, and trying to hold this controller while using the joystick while also pressing those buttons on the side meant that I was like palming the very front end of the controller and just kind of squeezing my hand to try to press the buttons and then holding the joystick with my other hand. And that was real uncomfortable and bad.
Who thought this was a good idea?
Kring, am I doing the motion of this right? Did you have to kind of cup the bottom and then use the joystick?
You are exactly correct. You are exactly correct. Just like
Kinda
this.
like this,
And I've got to
while you're
like,
playing your game, and then you had to kind of like squeeze the buttons while you were
yep,
doing
exactly like that. Like it was a.
It seems like it was teaching you valuable life skills.
I didn't go back that far in my my mental search, but
This discussion lends itself to video more than audio, so check us out at twitch.tv/questlogcast if you're catching the audio version of that. But yeah,
This is just one that I was thinking about the other day, Max, when I initially agreed. Yeah, the Nintendo 64 controller is not very good. But then I remember hating this controller and hating trying to hold this and play with it as a little kid. And so most of the time I just played Miss Pac-Man because I didn't have to push a button. I just used the joystick and I could hold it more comfortably and not worry about
eat
the buttons.
those dots.
Yep, eat the dots.
the Nintendo 64 controller was extremely innovative. You were right, Brian. It was the first analog stick controller. It was the first controller that I remember having a trigger like on the back of it.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I dug that.
So, there was some neat stuff happening there, but yeah, it was a ridiculous design and was completely uncomfortable. And the C buttons are the worst goddamn thing.
Yeah, that was Silly.
Whoa, what's that one in the bottom corner there? That black one that's only got 2 of those little arms, and that is
Probably a
puts the
Mad Catz
D-pad.
controller.
It puts the D-pad down in the middle because you never use the damn D-pad on that thing.
Oh, this is the thing you can get.
Yeah,
I think these
that-
are the. I think these are the. Oh, it's a company with an H. I can never remember the
That
name
is a
of it.
third-party controller I would buy.
Hori, I think it is. Yeah, the
What
Hori
are,
one. Hori pads.
What do you got there, Tyler? What's your candidate?
For the worst,
Yeah.
this is going to be controversial. I think the original Game Boy itself was like pretty bad. It was very
What?
cramped.
Yeah.
It was very cramped. You had to get your hands very close together. It was not comfortable to use. The whole thing just wasn't very easy to hold or manipulate. I felt like I was not a big fan of that.
It's not a
It's probably
controller,
not
but I'll
the
allow it.
worst. It's probably not the worst. It's just one of the ones I remember having I remember having to like set the thing down because I'm like, Jesus, I'm 9
My
years
hands
old
hurt.
and my hands hurt. This isn't good. Like, this
I
can't be
think
good.
my runner-up was probably the original Xbox controller. That thing was just a massive, bulky
It wasn't good.
mess.
It wasn't good.
I disagree to an extent. I would say my runner-up, if not the 64 or the Atari, it would be the Dreamcast controller because it was
Okay,
sharp
I never
and
had
jagged
one.
and uncomfortable. And the Xbox controller would have been the original one would have been a perfect design if it was just slightly smaller.
Yeah.
I've got pretty big hands, so for me it wasn't like a stretch to hit all of those buttons, and they were kind of placed like in an easy way to to hit them all for me, and they were kind of in a very comfortable position. But it was just I can see it was way too big for most users.
It looked absolutely stupid too. Like
It did look absolutely stupid.
It's such a.
I could
This is the
fight
But,
off
like-
an attacker with that.
But like the way the ABXY are in like kind of a diamond pattern, like
Mhm.
your thumb rested across all 4 of those buttons, and it was super easy to move from each one of those buttons. And even the white black one up there in the corner, that was a bit of a stretch, but it all like felt
Mhm.
real good the way you were moving. And then they changed to the mini version. They moved that white and black button down, way down below the other ones, and it was a lot harder to hit at that point.
I do remember that. I remember.
I
having
feel
to
like if
hit
they
those
just
buttons
kind
was
of
kinda awkward. Yeah.
shrunk the controller a little bit, it would have
See, I never,
been
I
better.
didn't really use my Xbox very much. I got it very
I
late
used
in
the
its
shit out of
life,
it.
and there wasn't a lot for me there.
Mhm.
I used,
kinda like,
I used
no.
the crap out of it.
What about you, Luke? What's your worst one?
I never had a lot of controllers, not being a huge console player, but I would say the Xbox controllers, honestly, probably all of them were pretty atrocious.
The original, or you mean
Really?
just in general?
Yes.
Really? Because I'm sorry, dude. The 360 controller is fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only problem with that controller is the D-pad. That's the only problem.
Well,
with
that's
that
what I was going to
controller.
comment on. Is it seems like the Xbox
that's just-
controller
that's
D-pads
just
were
'cause-
just really bad.
That's just because you're pissed off because you couldn't use it to play Super Metroid and do your speed runs. Don't lie, Luke.
Okay, so it's a
Don't
bad
lie.
controller because you can't speedrun with it. There, said it.
There, he said it. No, I still. I
As
still
for
use mine.
ones I actually owned, I don't know. They were all pretty good. NES controller is good. Super Nintendo controller is real good. So I
Mike
got
says no
really-
one played a
Is that
Power
where you
Glove
got
bought
off
at
the
a
train?
garage sale.
Well, I had a
Console-wise.
I had a PS2, but I didn't use the controller that came with it because I just used the Guitar Hero one, and that was a solid thing. So
Guitar Hero controller solid.
yeah, the Guitar Hero controller was real solid.
It really was.
You had
Was
a
it the Guitar
fixed
Hero 2
whammy
one?
bar. Yeah, it was 2.
Did you say Guitar Hero controller?
Yeah.
Yep, the
Yeah.
Guitar Hero 2
The
guitar
literal
was the best
guitar.
one.
The White Explorer controller.
Yep.
Yep. All wired and such. Yeah, that.
Had that nice, like, solid click, with the strum bar.
Yeah.
When I got Rock Band and it didn't click when I strummed, that messed me up big time.
Yeah, doesn't that throw you
I couldn't
off?
keep time anymore.
Yeah, the white one there, Tyler.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yep.
That's the one.
I had
That's
the SG one. I had the red SG. And I have a real red SG behind me, but I'm not gonna grab it because I'll lose my headphones.
I still have my Xbox 360 one, the white Explorer controller there. I still have it.
Now, I do know what my favorite controller is.
What is it, Luke? What are you doing? I can't see what you're doing.
It's the Pro.
The Nintendo Switch Pro
The
controller.
Switch Pro.
Yeah.
Got it the other day, and it's bloody fantastic.
I really like this controller too. I'm holding it in my hand right now, and it just feels right. It just feels right.
Are you able to use it with your PC, Luke?
I am
You have
able to,
Bluetooth?
but I haven't done it yet.
Haven't done it yet.
No, it just takes the Bluetooth adapter, which is dirt cheap at the Best Buy.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I think I maybe liked a little bit better on the Xbox one is that the triggers are actually triggers, like pressure sensitive triggers, whereas on the Pro controller it's just a button. You know? ZR and ZL are just buttons, they're not actual triggers. But other than that, I think everything else is way better. Like the D-pad is way better, the sticks feel so much smoother. The buttons are bigger and flatter, so I don't know. It's easier to stay on them. I don't know. I like everything about it.
It just feels really nice and solid, too.
Yep.
I have to say, for the most part, like that's an aspect that console manufacturers have been getting better and better at, through the
Just
years.
the ergonomics of making something feel
Yeah.
good in your hands. Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yep. What's your favorite one, Maxwell? If you had to pick a favorite.
It might be the Xbox One controller. I would say the 360 controller, except for that D-pad, and I think it's less bad on the Xbox One controller.
Mm-hmm.
Or the PS4 controller is real good too. Like,
I was never a fan of the PlayStation and how they I like
I didn't
how
like the way the sticks were, right?
yeah, how they're down, and as opposed to like I like the Xbox.
You like them
where-
offset?
Because that when you hold the controller in your hand, your thumb naturally wants to just rest on the PlayStation controller on that D-pad, but you don't use the D-pad most of the time. You have to
Yes.
move
Yeah,
your thumb down to the analog stick.
I've never felt that or thought about that. Like I can go from one to the other and not give it a thought. So I don't know. Step up your game.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Step the game up.
Now, those are both real good. But
What's funny to me is I think that it's not, even when I think about what I think is the best, I like the GameCube controller. I thought that was a beautiful setup. They have that big A button, and then it made it really
weird little nub stick.
that's the thing though. But that A button made it really easy to do like all these sorts of combos, these button combos,
Yeah.
because you could just roll your thumb off of the A button to any of those other three buttons. But then it's got that weird little nub stick. So it was I'm thinking about like
Krang.
even the best controllers, even my
Have
favorite
something.
controllers, all have some little thing wrong. The 360 controller has a shitty D-pad. The Xbox One controller, I don't like the feel of the nubs on the thumbsticks.
Hey, Krang.
Yeah,
Did you have a Wavebird?
I did have a Wavebird,
How
and that's the
fucking good was
greatest.
that?
That's the best controller that there's ever been.
I think
The Wavebird
it's
was
probably
fantastic.
because it was my first wireless controller, so I was just like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like the batteries lasted a long time. It was real responsive.
That Wavebird was so good, especially at a time when like I remember because I worked at GameStop at the time when that console generation was out, and people would come in looking for, wireless controllers for their Xbox or their PlayStation, and there were all these crap off brands, and the only ones that were any
Mad
good,
Cats.
yeah, the only ones that were any good were made by Logitech, and they were pretty good, but the Wavebird is just fantastic. I also liked now that picture's up there. I also liked the octagonal shape of the housing there. So if you went up, like your thumbstick kind of clicked into that straightforward position, or you could go at an angle and it would kind of like settle into that position
Instead of sliding back and forth.
instead of sliding back and forth a little bit. Yeah, I really liked that about it.
We're cool. We're cool guys.
That's why we're doing this, to show everyone how cool we are.
How about you there,
yeah.
Tyler?
What's that?
How about you? What's
The
your
favorite? The favorite? It's close. If I had to pick today, right now, it would be the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I really love it. I've got my 360 one here, right? And I'm picking that one up, and it does feel good, but there's some stuff about it that still just doesn't feel right in your hand. Like, it doesn't conform to your hand the way that I'm used to the Pro controller now doing. And yeah, I don't know. It fits like a glove is a stupid thing to say about it, but that's what it feels like. It just feels perfect in my hand. So I think I'm gonna say it. I think I'm gonna say Nintendo Switch Pro controller is my favorite controller.
Good answer. Good answer.
I think part of that comes down to the materials that are on it too. Like your 360 controller is just plastic, where there's like this rubberized sort of soft feel to that Pro controller, which makes it really comfy and in your hands.
anyone ever use a Power Glove?
Did not use a power glove. No.
I did use the Power Glove.
I had a friend who bought one, and I remember thinking like, "Oh Jesus, thank God that I didn't get fucked on this like you did, because that was just junk." It looked
Well-
cool in the movie, in The Wizard.
Yep.
Mhm.
But,
It's so
man.
bad.
Yeah, that movie made the Power Glove seem awesome, like a must-have thing.
I didn't have an NES at the time, so when I bought it, I was buying it more as like a collector's item. But I did end up trying to use it.
That's
It
the right
was
way.
so bad. It's such a piece of crap.
Yeah, no power glove for me. That's not
Nope.
something that I ever troubled myself with. I did have the light gun though,
Mm-hmm.
I think
I
everyone
had
had
a-
that.
for duck hunt.
I had an NES Advantage.
Cool. What's that? Is that the sniper
That's
looking thing?
that's the big old controller, the big old NES controller with
Like the big fight joystick kind of style, like the arcade
it
style
had
joystick.
it had buttons where you could turn on turbo
Yep.
with the buttons, and I think it had a big old joystick. It
Yeah,
was a
like-
big heavy controller.
Was that
It
your
was like being in
favorite?
an arcade cabinet.
Is that your number one, Maxwell?
No, just
No, that was right. You said
know,
you said the
like while we're talking about
the Xbox
NES
one.
accessories, NES Advantage was real good.
Oh yeah, I've seen this before.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah.
I used to have.
Oh yeah, I do remember this.
hmm
That's
I
cool.
used to have the NES Satellite, which was the one of the earlier forays into wireless controllers. It was this little. You'd have one piece of it you would put in. You'd plug into the console, and then you would just have it sit on like the shelf next to it or on top of the console or whatever, and then you'd have this other one that would sit on the other side of the room that you would plug your controllers into, and it was like infrared, so
Oh,
kind of like a TV
Oh,
remote.
shit.
It had to be line of sight, and you would
That's crazy.
you would be able to. It allowed you though to use up to 4 controllers. Oh, I guess it plugged right into the front. It didn't sit on the shelf. It's been a long time
That's
since
crazy.
I had it for a while, but it's been a long time.
That looks
Um,
hideous.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really does. It's bad.
Uh-huh.
Nintendo has a
And it took like D batteries and shit too. So it's real
That's
not
crazy.
good to use.
I did not know that was a thing. That's real crazy.
Uh-huh.
Oh, look at this NES Sports set. It came with the extra controllers and
Uh-huh.
that setup. Wow.
Yeah, so you could play Nintendo World Cup with 4 players.
track and field.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
See, Nintendo always did this kind of stuff. They like had stuff planned out, like modular add-ons for their consoles that no, I don't remember other companies doing stuff like this. Like
There was a pad for track and field. I remember running on that, and we got yelled at because we were making the chandelier shake downstairs at my friend's house. We couldn't do track and field anymore.
this is like an actual thing. You crack open like a panel on this and like install it on your system, right?
No. If you look at
Or is that just the unit itself?
if
that
you
it's coming
look at the
apart?
picture of the backside of it,
Uh-huh.
it actually is just Scroll down.
Oh, it's
a little
plugging
bit.
into the ports. I see.
Yeah.
I see there. Okay. Even still, that's a crazy add-on for that thing. I'm thinking like when the N64 had the expansion slot, like the bigger memory expansion card thing that you could put in it. That blew my mind. I was like, how did they think to do that, to make that a modular thing that could just get replaced in the console? You know?
Well, I got to tell you, like for the GameCube, I had the adapter that lets you play Game Boy Advance games on your TV.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was
The link
great.
cable, yeah. Yep, and there was games that like utilized that. Like I remember in Wind Waker, you could get the Tingle tuner, and Tingle could come drop bombs and shit in your game. Just weird junk like that. You could use the controller as a. You could use a Game Boy Advance as a controller for Four Swords Adventures or whatever that game was.
Not could. Had to.
Yeah. Yep. Lots
Which
of
was
cool
real
stuff.
weird. I remember Tom and Ryan and I all got together because we all had Game Boy Advances and they had a copy of Four Sword for the GameCube. And then I was sitting there thinking about, like, Brian, you were saying $400 for one game is not something you would want to spend, but here we have these guys who have. Somebody had to buy a GameCube, and then we all had to buy these separate consoles that then we had to buy link cables for, and then we also had to buy this one game so that we could play it all together. And it was just, I just remember sitting there thinking, God, this is real stupid.
Well, I think that's pretty good on the controller side of things. We've all aired out our
Well, set our piece.
concerns. Yeah. I don't disagree with anybody there. I think that's all pretty fair. I just get to use the best controller still ever, and so does Luke. So that's pretty good. Luke, we got to try hooking this thing up to our computers and see if that works. I want to try.
It's supposed to work. It's supposed to work on Android phones as well.
Oh, because Bluetooth. Yeah, that makes sense. That is cool. I had other games that I played that I'm just going to save for next week. I dipped my toes into Witcher a little bit. I think I'm going to stream some of that over the course of this next week. Forgot to bring that up, but Witcher 3, it's real good. Spoiler alert.
I'm still working through Final Fantasy
Sneaking that in
15.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to wrap it up because Persona 5 drops this week, and I've got too many damn games to play. Like Final Fantasy 15's I gotta finish it.
It's a good problem to have, right?
It's a real good problem to have. But, yep, I'm at a point where shit's gotten real in that game, and I think I'm in the neighborhood of the end, maybe. So
cool. Well, let's get up on out of here, shall we? It's 12:38. We're winding down. I'm gonna give us some outro music here, maybe, because nothing's working tonight. There it is. Oh, anyway, big thanks for everybody that tuned in at twitch.tv/questlogcast. You can find our show every week live right here at that address. You can also go to questlogcast.com and you can find links to SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, all that fun stuff. However you want to get your quest log in ya. Brian's been doing it for a while now. I don't know if you noticed, but our show notes go up there. He puts little pictures, timestamps for the games that we're talking about. You should definitely check that out. Our music is done by none other than The Visager. You can find his stuff at visager.bandcamp.com. I mentioned it earlier. We launched a store. We have t-shirts you can buy, sweatshirts, all kinds of stuff with the Questlog logo. Mugs, stickers, yeah, whatever you want. Phone cases.
Dogs.
Floor wax.
Yeah, all designed by yours truly. So go check that stuff out. It directly helps the show. It's a cool way to support us if you want to do that. And rock our gear. So you can find the store down below in the yeah, right down there at the bottom. So anyway, that's gonna do it for me. Check out our streams. We're gonna stream more, we promise. Check out our Heroes stuff right here on Twitch. We'll catch you guys next week.
Catch you later.
Goodbye.
Tyler, do you want to go play Heroes now?
Yeah, let's go. Let's start up right now. See you in a few, everybody.